Baptism saves? Dude, you ever heard of the thief on the cross?
Yes.
He wasn't baptized, so how can you say that baptism saves?
Look, if you want to know what baptism is and what it does, you really should look at the Bible verses that tell us what baptism is and what it does. And the thief on the cross bit isn't talking about baptism, so that passage won't tell us whether baptism saves.
Baptism saves?
Oh, come on!
Dude, you ever heard of the thief on the cross?
Yes, but instead of determining our baptismal theology based on the thief on the cross, which is not about baptism, we should look at Titus 3, where Paul tells us that the washing of regeneration and renewal of the Holy Spirit, aka baptism, has saved us. We should look at Romans 6, where he tells us that baptism makes us dead to sin and alive to Christ, which is another way of saying baptism saves. And I don't know, maybe we should look at 1 Peter 3, where the apostle explicitly says baptism now saves you. So, regardless of the thief on the cross, because the Bible clearly says that baptism saves, we should also be able to say baptism saves.
Baptism saves?
No, not again.
Dude, you ever heard of the thief on the cross?
Look, just because someone can be saved apart from baptism doesn't change the fact that baptism saves.
Baptism saves? Dude, you ever heard of the thief on the cross?
Oh, you mean the guy who died before Jesus instituted the means of grace we call baptism that saves?
Baptism saves?
Oh, stop it, stop it, stop it!
Dude, you ever heard of the thief on the cross?
Yes, I've heard of the thief on the cross. I've also heard of the rest of the Bible, which very clearly teaches that baptism saves. And because the Bible doesn't contradict itself, here's what we have to conclude on the matter. Baptism saves because it is a means of grace that Christ instituted that delivers the benefits of his saving death and glorious resurrection to us. But while baptism saves, it is not the only thing that saves. People, like the thief on the cross, can still come to saving faith through the word, even if they can't receive the waters of baptism that save. Likewise, it has not always been the case that baptism saves. This didn't become the case until after the thief on the cross died, when, in Matthew 28, Jesus instituted the sacrament known as baptism that saves. So, God says that baptism saves, and he also says that not only baptism saves, and therefore the existence of people who are saved apart from baptism doesn't change the fact that baptism saves.
Baptism saves?
Oh, come on!
Dude, you ever heard of the thief on the cross?
Yes, I've heard of the thief on the cross.